My friends, welcome back to Gravity 2. We are back in business here in um, Mr. Magnifico Coachland. Okay, today we're looking at area, my friends. We are learning about area, and I always tell my pupils to write the formula, which means length times width. And so we're gonna find the area of a shape with the measurements that we have here, length times width. So now let's write this down, and it's going to be 5 and 4/6 inches times 4 and 3/5 inches. Okay, we're going to use this model to show you how to solve this problem, how to multiply it, because you have to do partial multiplications. And let me show you what I mean. If I multiply this 5, it's going to be multiplying the 5 times the 4. So that means 5 times 4 equals 20. Now we're going to multiply the same number 5 times the 3/5, right? And that will be 5 times 3/5. When you do that, you know that you already have the advantage of knowing that that whole number has a denominator of 1, and you can multiply across. 5 times 3 equals 15, and 1 times 5 equals 5. And we know that 15 divided by 5 equals 3. So that's the answer for our next multiplication. Now I'm going to use a different color. If you do not have a different color, just use wiggly lines. So I already multiplied the 5, so I'm not going to multiply the 5 times the 4 and the 3/5, but I need to multiply the 4/6 times the 4. So I'm going to write the multiplication here on the bottom. 4/6 times, well, that's not a 4/6, my friend. Do you see what number I wrote here? That is not acceptable. So 4/6 is written this way. I said times 4. And if you do this again, you have the advantage of knowing that whole numbers have a denominator of 1. When you multiply across, that will be 4 times 4 equals 16, and 6 times 1 equals 6. So that will be a division, which is 16 divided by 6. And the 6 goes into the number 2 times. 2 times 6 equals 12. And the remainder is 4. So our answer is 2 and 4/6. Like I tell my students, there is a pool next to a house. And let me show you what that means. A pool next to a house. This helps my students write the answer for it. So the pool, the whole number is 2. The fraction is 4 on the numerator and 6 in the denominator. So now we know that the answer for this particular multiplication is 2 and 4/6. Okay, now we multiply the fraction from the left mixed number. Now we're going to multiply that same one times the 3/5 because it has not been multiplied yet. So it's going to be 4/6 times 3/5. So let's write that one right here. So it's 4/6 times 3/5. And let me make sure I wrote that down correctly. Let's see. Yes, 3/5. So again, when you multiply across. 4 times 3 equals 12, and 6 times 5 equals 30. And you know that these two numbers can be, this is an improper fraction. I believe they both can be divided by 3, because 3 times 4 equals 12, and 3 times 10 equals 30. Oh, look at that. We're going to still simplify this same fraction, 4/10. So I'm going to simplify the fraction again, 4/10. And both can be divided by 2. So now the answer is going to be 2 and 2/5. All right, now we know that we have the answers, all the partial answers. So let me use a different color to show you the answers. We have 2/5, which is going to be the area now. We're going to write the area. It's one and, no, it's 2/5 plus, where is the other one? Right here. 2 and 4/6, 2 and 4/6 plus 3 and 20 plus 3 plus 20. Now, we always add up common numbers, like these whole numbers, 2 plus 3 plus 20. So that, you know that that's going to equal 25. But then you still have to add 2/5 plus 4/6, which are these two fractions. Now, notice that we have a common denominator, so we have to find common denominator. So let's go through the whole thing of doing this. So the way this is going to work, we're going to say area equals 25 times plus. So this is going to be 5 times. We're going to multiply opposite denominators. So let's multiply the opposite denominator of 5, which is 6. When you multiply that denominator, you have to multiply that denominator by the same number, and then you do the opposite to the opposite fraction. So we multiply across. So let's do this. 2 times 6 equals 12, and 5 times 6 equals 30, plus 4 times 5 equals 20, and 6 times 5 equals 30. That makes it easier to add, okay? So now we know that the area is going to be 25. 20 plus 12 equals 32, and the same denominator. As you can see, this right here is an improper fraction. So that's going to be, we're going to break this down into, it's going to be, again, 25 plus, the improper fraction says that 32 must be divided by 30 to find out how many wholes do we have. The 30 goes into a 32 once. 1 times 30 equals 30, and the remainder is 2. So here is the answer for this right here. So it's going to be 1 and 2 30th, and that's going to be 26. And again, you can still simplify this by dividing it by 2. So you divide the 2 by 2, and that will equals 1, and the 30 by 2, and that will equals 15. And there will be your area, my friends. Here is the area of this shape. Please watch the video again, slow it down, rewind it, become a good mathematician. Signing out, your coach, Mr. Magnifico.